Welcome back to another episode of Zentrum Works. This week is not going to be exciting. No, it's really not. I'm serious. It's small stuff. Again, we got some liquid electrical tape came in. Got to open that up. I have the battery in. I put it in. I wanted to drive the car the other day. Here, I'll show you. All I had to do was make these JIS terminals a little wider, fit on this SAE terminals here, but they work. Car starts amazingly, and this battery is actually too small now. It's a Braille B2015, and great battery. It wasn't really honest. It wasn't that much more than an Optima would be, but it's such a small package that it fits with what I need. I need to now get a battery tie down of some sort. But we're gonna put the liquid electrical tape on these wires right here. And next week, probably I'll have a sheathing coming in for this wiring harness for the cam angle sensor, because this looks like crap, quite honestly. And it's all brittle, falling apart. I mean, you can see it's just not good. But for now, we're gonna get the copper covered up, and the battery did not solve the headlight issue, so I want to test the battery voltage when the car is started this week as well. Hopefully, being cold in here in the garage won't affect this too much. Yes, I'm using a screwdriver to open this. Don't care. Went with Permatex, brand that I trust. They make good stuff. Liquid electrical tape. And it feels like a paste. It said there should be a brush in here. I guess the cap is the brush. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, good thing we have paper towels out here. What's this? Smells like you guys ever put PVC pipes together? You know that purple goo that you put on the end of the pipes? That's what it smells like. Anyways, let's get it over there and get it on the wires so that we can sheath it. Again, like I said, never work with this stuff, but apparently you just wipe it on there and it should be good to go. Now, some of you are asking, why is your coolant overflow tank gone? Because I was trying to get this headlight out, and there's a bolt that I cannot find, but we'll get there. We're going to check the alternator voltage, see how stable it is, and then go from there. Anyways, I am going to set these paper towels down so that if this drips, it doesn't get on my car and my nice Gretty radiator. Try and separate these wires out as best we can and not get an excessive amount on there. I don't want to just globber on there and be like, oh yeah, that looks good. You know what I mean? We're doing precise work here. Yeah, it's definitely helping that it's cold out. Yep, and as I suspected, it's going to drip. Let's get some on this piece right there. The entire reasoning behind me checking the battery voltage is because getting that headlight out of there, it's going to be kind of difficult. But also, if the alternator is not supplying a consistent enough voltage to the headlights, the LED could flicker. Now, it could also just be a bulb going bad, and that's why I was going to take the headlight out in the first place. But I don't think I don't think it is, only because when it was getting worse, and it's only happened on the passenger side, but in the past with that old battery, the driver's side also started doing this. So my thought process is, if the alternator is not putting out a consistent voltage, then it would be worse on the passenger side because the battery and the alternator are on this side, and power is going to take it's going to take more power to get consistent power over there. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Since the light is further away from the source of power, that would be the first light to start flickering if the voltage were to be erratic, if it were to drop or go too high. Um, so that's, yeah. If that makes sense to you, cool. It makes sense to me. But we're gonna wait, see if this, see if we can plug this in. Let me read the directions. Always disconnect power before applying. Allow 4 hours dry time before use. Always allow liquid tape to dry completely before restoring power. All right, so I guess we're gonna wait 4 hours to test the battery or the alternator. But that being said, so there is. I found an alternator that's not $600, made by a company P2M, and they're the same company that made the coolant and oil lines for my turbo that I got. Oh, also, news on that front. I don't think the turbo coolant lines are leaking because they're faulty. I think I was doing a little research, and I have a Greddy radiator, right? I have a Greddy radiator. Well, the radiator cap is rated at 1.3 bars. So what is that? Like 20 psi? Yeah, about 20 psi. The stock radiator cap is a zero point 0.9 bar, which is 13, I believe. 12.89 something. It's around 13. But if the coolant system is being pressurized higher than stock, and we're running a stock turbo with stock everything else other than the radiator cap, that's what's changed about the system. And the lines are probably, the P2M lines are probably rated for the stock radiator cap, meaning I think the coolant is weeping out of the turbo coolant line feed, because when the system stops or under hard driving conditions, the coolant gets up to a higher pressure before the cap relieves pressure and goes to the overflow tank, which is another reason why the overflow tank keeps slowly going down. Anyways, I need to get a 0.9 a point 0.9 bar cap and test theory. Fill the coolant overflow tank back up, and then also I should probably uh, bleed the system again. because for whatever reason, maybe it's not bled correctly. I don't know. Let it warm up and it doesn't overheat. I don't think it's that, but that's my rant. Uh, and now I have to wait 3 hours, at least minimum 3 hours. It's cold out here, so it might take less time. It might take a lot less time for that to dry. Who knows? I'll check it in like 2 hours, and if it's pretty good, then we'll test the alternator. I didn't even think of that. Damn. Well, you live and you learn. I'll see you in 3 hours. All right. It has. Okay. All right. It hasn't been 3 hours or 4 hours. It's been 3 days, but that's okay. We got our wires all nice and liquid duct taped. I still need to get this sheathing for this wire, but it'll do for now. It's just an aesthetics thing. And I ended up trying to take the headlight out. Uh, test. That didn't work because I can't find one of the bolts in there. Regardless, we're going to fire this thing up and I'll just put the coolant tank on. Just kind of sitting in there. I don't think it's going to heat up anyways to the point where I don't think it's going to heat up to the point where it'll actually open up anyways. So this wasn't even clamped on there. Like I just kind of yanked this tube off. This might have been a problem before and they didn't fix it. Maybe, I don't know. Anyhow, we're just going to sit this in there like that because it's fine like that. And put this screw back in because I don't know why I took it out. With our brand new battery, we're going to get in here. We're going to see if we can get a consistent voltage off of the alternator or if it's jumping around, because the alternator did test good at the O'Reilly's or whatever, but that I don't know if it checks for voltage consistency or not. We're going to get our multimeter out and check it. Get the car running. We'll get the car running and we'll check the alternator. Well, I guess we're checking the battery voltage, but the battery is directly connected to the alternator, so wow. 14.69. Let's see if the voltages come down at all. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's only come down 1/10 of a voltage. Not even. Was it at 14.68? I don't know. The thermostat is fully opening now, so the voltage may come down a little bit. 14.55, 14.56. So I don't know what the voltage should be, But you're always going to assume more is better, but in this case, more might actually not be better. More might actually be supplying too much power to those LED headlights. Also, I don't know if you guys follow I think his name's Caden Parsons. I'll put the name here. He's a big Z32 guy. He's got a bunch of 300 ZXs. I hit him up, and he has a set of brake calipers, and I'm probably going to buy off of him. He's close by. So that's cool. That might be this week. Could be next week. I have no idea. But hopefully, and then I'll get a set of rotors. Hopefully that solves our front end shaking issue. And then, well, we got to solve the sunroof issue as well. The sunroof has some major sag. You can see it when you go down, like right on the roof line, like that. This lip here. Here, if I open the door, see how it's worse in the center. See how it's supposed to be flush like that? Well, it's not. And so I need to buy some shims. Luckily, Nissan still sells the shims, but from what I've read online, fixing them and getting to the shims to unbolt or take out whatever screws I need to take out requires me to remove the entire roof liner, the headliner. That's going to be a winter project because I just don't drive this thing in the rain that much. And I also want to get one of those snake thingy-majiggers to snake the sunroof drains so that I know that they're draining correctly. Other than that, I appreciate you guys following along this week. I really haven't been able to do much. I was kind of busy staining that stuff. Got the wood stain, and then I'm going to make this little Lazy Susan thing for our kitchen table. So the car kind of took a back burner, but we'll get it fixed. We're getting close to closing on a house, which is another reason why I've been busy. Getting close to closing on a house with a nice garage. I'll give you guys the rundown / tour of that whenever it happens. And it's going to be sweet. It's going to be a lot bigger than this space in here. Because I can only park, if you were just to have yourself living here and you could come in here and park and then go right in the door, it'd be great. But we got this space here that could be for a door opening, but the door in the S15 is, I want to say, 4 feet long or longer. And it has to be backed in because if you pull in that side, you're going to open the door into the wall, and then, well, you can't get out. So then you'd have to shove it over here, leave enough space behind you, or in front of you, I guess, to get in. And it's a whole thing. So right now, if we want to go anywhere, I have to start the car, warm it up, pull it outside, then put them in the passenger seat, my son and fiance in the passenger seat, and then it's a whole thing. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys for following along this far in the video. If you like the video, drop a like. If you really like the video, go watch the other videos because it's kind of like a story, so you don't know what's going on, really, why this is going on. So watch the other videos and then subscribe, comment if you want. All right, bye.